You may think of Apple when you hear about Cupertino, but the city isn't only home to tech giants. It has a wealth of natural resources too. Take McClellan Ranch Park, one of Cupertino's hidden gems. It's a natural preserve, just minutes from the I-280 freeway, but quietly tucked away from the city center. Few of the city's residents even know about the park. Last week, the city council took action to change that.
So we have this great history here of an old barn, a blacksmith shop that's actually a replica, but a replica of one that stood at the crossroads at Stevens Creek and De Anza.
That's Barbara Banfield. She's the senior naturalist at McClellan Ranch. She's worked here for over 30 years and runs most of the environmental programs. For the past years, Barbara has been operating out of a converted garage. What McClellan really needed was an environmental center that would allow Barbara to run programs for more students and to open the park to community groups. A few years ago, the city started listening to Barbara and the community. But nothing ever happened. Mayor Mark Santoro explains.
You know, this thing has gone through a lot of public input before. Definitely the public was in favor of it. We had it on hold because we didn't have Parks and Rec funds to complete out the bill, which we do now.
The city council decided it couldn't wait any longer. So, on October 2nd, the city council decided to go ahead with the plans to build the center. Nonetheless, during the city council meeting, there was a lot of debate. The city council was concerned about the aggressive schedule. Council member Barry Chang questioned whether there was enough room in the proposed center.
Are we limited to this size, 2,400 square feet?
Under the existing environmental document, you are, so that if you wanted to expand it, you would have to do some subsequent environmental review, which would change the timeline considerably.
In the end, all council members voted unanimously in favor of the project. Council member Raji Singh was one of the big supporters.
I know my own kids have benefited from it, and I know many others who have. And this opportunity right in our own backyards to enhance and bring people out, I think will serve the community very well.
Mark Linder, the director of Parks and Recreation, also agrees that the city needs to build the center.
It just opens up a lot more possibilities in a garage that you can't get 25 people into comfortably.
Debbie Frazier. She's a science teacher at Monte Vista High School in Cupertino. Every year, she brings her advanced placement biology students to the park to collect data on tree populations.
In that area, and they don't realize how clean the water is, and then how healthy that ecosystem would be. And a lot of the kids, just like the kids I work with that are younger, don't ever think to stop and look in detail about what's around the area. They just kind of see trees, water, that's about it. So it's a neat opportunity for them to appreciate the detail and the beauty of nature and how you've got a full ecosystem out there.
Debbie has worked closely with Barbara for many years. She believes the center would help educate young children and teenagers who live in urban areas about science and nature. Peyton Feldman, McKinley Poland, both 11, and Robbie Cashman, who's 12, spoke about how the environmental programs at McClellan affect them.
We're testing water in the creeks because we have to do something for the environment, and we're testing water in the creeks to see what their quality is and seeing if they're good for life and stuff. Because we volunteer to help the environment, and science is kind of.
Peyton's mom, Toby Emerson, says she thinks the park is a great way to reconnect kids with the outdoors.
It's just my son and I that are here today, but they've enjoyed kind of going to the different creeks and doing the measurements and everything that we've been doing. It's just something completely different than we would normally do on a weekend.
This is Anna Lee for the Peninsula Press, a project of the Stanford Graduate Program in Journalism.